Curtis, we heard from Travis Green yesterday. He wanted you all to bring the energy. We saw a very high-intensity practice today. How would you describe the focuses of today's practice?
Yeah, we wanted to focus on our pace and execution. Those are the two words that we kind of want to dial in on, and I think you guys saw that. We were skating, we're hard, and it's funny, the game last night, even today in practice, a little bit of nerves. That change of voice, everyone wants to leave a good impression, and Green is really direct with his message, so we're out there, we're going to work through our mistakes, but I thought it was a really good day.
How do you calm those nerves as a group?
It's going to come. I mean, like you said, we played 61 games this year. Once we settle and understand what we are and find that confidence, he talks about instilling that confidence in us, and we have to believe we're a good team because we are. We had did a lot of good things last night in those glimpses, but we just have to kind of put that, ribbon on the presents and play a full 60 minutes.
We've heard a little bit more about trying to fight for some more communication out there. Make sure that you all are playing as a five-man unit. How do you feel that's progressing as well?
Yeah, that's going to come with confidence too. The guys come in the right spots, and again, we change up our systems there. I guess recently, been a while, a little bit. So once we dial those in, those habits become second nature, and that comes into playing quick too. Our pace gets up, we're moving, we're in spots more, and you have more time and space to make plays.
He wasn't your coach in Vancouver, but did any of your teammates or anyone talk about Travis and what he can bring to a team? Any of your former teammates, rather?
Yeah, I think just from talking, like I said, I haven't had him as a coach personally, but just through passing and whatnot, guys say he's very direct. His message is there, it's honest. He loves communicating, and as a player, that's what you want. You want honesty. Sometimes you're gonna like what he says, sometimes you don't, but you're gonna know where you stand. So, again, he's only been here for one game and one practice, but the message is pretty clear. We go over things, we learn, and we're in it as a group too. It's not about singling out guys; it's about improving as a whole, and we're seeing that already.
Have you already noticed the difference from Travis, the assistant coach, to Travis, the head coach, and how he's approaching things, how he's talking to you guys and stuff?
Yes and no, and he addressed that. I mean, that's hard too, right? Because the assistant, you can be a little more buddy-buddy. Me and him have quite a bit of banter all throughout the season, and we have to find that fine line now. And I know when he's kind of joking with me, there's a message behind it. But he's a well-respected guy. I mean, he's been a coach before. He's had success wherever he's gone. So, we just got to listen. Like I said, he's here for us. We're all pulling on the same rope, and he's done a great job so far.
One thing Jesper said yesterday in here was about how a lot of times your team would lack some pushback. It felt like there was some of that against a gritty Florida team yesterday. I mean, is that something that you guys have talked about, having that type of pushback?
Yeah, I mean, we got that wake-up call. When someone loses their job, you got to take that personally. It's always a tough day, and we talk a lot about reflecting, looking in the mirror, and that falls on us players. So we want to kind of go out there and right the ship. Lindy was a great guy, great coach. He did a lot well for us, so we want to make him proud, and also Greener too. He stepped in here with the job. We got 20 games here to kind of push the pace and see what we can do. So again, that growth is a big part of it.
I know we've talked about this before, but obviously, had to be chasing games all year, and it just happened again last night. I know if there was a way to just put the specific on it, you'd know it by now. But if you're trying to think of what has been the issue out of the chute for you guys, what do you think it is those first few minutes?
I don't know, because we're setting a record or something, right? It's funny. We talked about that too. I mean, when teams start games, they're at their best. They're sharp. You're ready from puck drop. And it seems that we just kind of shoot ourselves in the foot. It's that one mistake here that other teams just capitalize on. We've kind of gotten relatively comfortable coming back from that one goal, but that shouldn't be the case. We should start from the start, get that first goal, and then build off that. Don't stop. I think, too, the ebbs and flows of the games, we've done a good job of managing. We're getting better at that. Even if you do get down, you do get up, you still have to play the same way.
We heard from Travis Green yesterday. I want this group to bring a lot of energy, and we saw with practice today, there was a lot of execution drills and focused on the intensity. What would you say out of that first game and that first practice?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he expects. We expect it as well, and all those drills we're doing it with a purpose, and we want to execute out there, create a habit, and so it just flows into the game.
When it comes to the starts, that's something that's been talked about with this team. What's some of the little details that can help strengthen those starts that this group has?
Just start simple, simplify our game, especially at the start. Just get the puck deep, start skating, move the legs, and then we can take control over the game. And I think maybe that's one thing we can focus on.
We've heard from a couple players now, from Green himself, that he's a very direct coach. How can that direct messaging help this team put together some really strong games at this stretch of the season?
We just had a video meeting this morning, and we picked up the good stuff and the bad stuff, and that's how you learn. That's how you know you did something wrong, or you can do something better. And it's not about pointing at a guy. And I think it's just helping the team, helping the players, and yeah, I think that's pretty good.
And just defensively, I know we've talked about this all season long, but how have you seen this defensive effort change with the systems change, and how do you think you all can continue growing with that?
Yeah, I mean, system is a little more simple, I would say. It's not as much of running around. You know what to do. Everybody knows what to do, and we just gotta make it work, and everybody does his job. And I think if we do that, work as a unit, we should be good.
For you, like obviously, when you got hurt, you guys were playing one system. You come back, you're playing a different system. Did it take a few games to kind of mesh in and get up to speed with what everybody else was doing? Did you feel like coming back?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little different, but I think it's the system we have now. It's no other than we had everybody played that system before in their life, and I think it's still somewhere in the back of your mind, and so it wasn't that hard to switch it, but it was definitely a change in the first couple games.
Obviously, you interact with all the coaches, but on a daily basis, like Gilly's working hard with the D, and Greener was more focused on power play and offense. Are you learning anything about Travis now as he's the head coach these last couple of days? Anything change for you?
Yeah, what I noticed, he's talking with us a lot. He comes in, he's exchanging some words with us, and he lets us know what we can do better. And I think communication-wise, it's going pretty well. And yeah.
Jonas, how would you assess your season so far? Obviously up now with the injury, and what you're trying to do to improve things down the stretch.
There isn't that many games left, but we just gotta work hard in the games, leave it all on the ice, and I think every night we gotta be the hardest working team. That's all we can do, and at the end we look at the scoreboard, and but all we can do is working hard, outwork the team, and
And in your game as well.
Yeah, I mean I think there's stuff I can improve. Coming back from the injury, maybe some stuff aren't as smooth yet, but I'm trying to work on it and improve my game.
Obviously, different voice out there. Practice. Did the practice feel different? Like a normal practice, or what was it like after the first time?
No, it's obviously some new drills and also some stuff we want to work on. And we had some drills we did the first time, so obviously it wasn't like the same practice.
And what were some of the new drills or some of the basics that you were trying to work on that might have been different from before?
Skating, I think. Kind of other forecheck drills, but it's not. We haven't worked on these things. We've done it before too, but it's just like other drills and other forecheck drills, other skating drills, and but it was good practice.
Do you think it's more for emphasis portions? I'd say obviously stuff you worked on before, but really trying to hammer home some points by the coaching staff.
Yeah, just try a different drill.
When it comes to starting quicker, what's some of the things that you all have talked about recently to keep getting some quicker starts here?
I think most is mindset, and how you treat the game at the beginning. I think at the beginning you got to be extra sharp. You got to make the right decisions. I think puck management is really important early in the game, and and that's a mindset I think, because everybody, if he has the right mindset going into the game, getting a puck deep, stuff like that, then I think at the beginning. Can do a checking game, and then after that I'll open up.
Yeah, speaking of checking game, just matching up against teams that have been more physical. St. Louis is another team that can be quite physical. How can you take that you guys did do well against the Panthers with and carry that and grow on that?
Be physical in your way, and with us most of it is stick battles, be hard on pucks, skating. Try to not get caught up in the walls, be skating, and if you have the chance to get into guys, do it.
How have you seen the communication continue, especially as you all are trying to make sure that you're playing as a five-man unit and help each other out, and if a defenseman's going up to get a play, to be able to cover that?
Say that again?
Like, how are you all finding the communication is continuing to grow as you all are playing as a five-man unit, and if a defenseman's going to pick off the puck, someone else is making sure that they're filling back?
I mean, communication is really important. It's we're talking about this, continue talking about this, that you have to play out there as a five-man unit, and if not, it'll be hard. It'll be hard on the forecheck, it'll be hard to defend. Not only that the defenders defend, the forwards are involved there too. Not only the forwards forechecks, D are involved there too. So you gotta work together out there as a five-man unit, and that's how you are a tough team to beat.
Have you seen it increased recently, that communication?
Yeah, we're working on it. So I think we had good things in the last game we can take out of it, and we're going to try to be even better tomorrow.
Nico, one really noticeable change yesterday was on offensive zone draws. You were often sent out there between Brader and Jack, and like obviously you played off with Brader this season. I don't think you played much with Jack at all this season. What did you like about that setup, and kind of how you think that can continue to grow the rest of the year?
You ask me if I like that? I obviously do. It's nice playing with these two guys. Obviously, I've played with Brader before a long time already. Never really played with Jack, but do I like playing with Jack in the ozone? Of course I do. So it's great. I think we're creating things out there, and I like it. But at the end of the day, I think in the third period I got back to my line a little bit too, which is fine too. And I think that's always a coaching decision. And but do I like it? Yes.
Do you think the fact that you guys have played so much on the power play together over the past few years helps you, kind of think the game the same way as Jack, even if you haven't played with him on the ice very much 5-on-5?
Yeah, power play, and I think we just in general we can read the game well. We find the open spots. We find the support that we need, and yeah, I mean, we had some really good looks last night, and even that one period we played in LA together was we created a lot of things too. So.
Travis, your first practice in the books. We heard from a lot of players. There was execution focus, intensity. How would you describe that practice and the focuses?
Yeah, I liked it. We had a good morning review of the game last night. Talked about some of the things we did like in the game, some of the things that we thought we needed to improve on, and that we'd work on in practice. One thing that we wanted to work on today was just passing, really, putting passes on the tape, execution, and making sure our pace was high enough on a daily basis.
When it comes to having a better start, what are some of the critical areas? Maybe is it mindset? Is it execution? What can help them have a better start?
Well, first of all, you can, it's easy to say, hey, you had a bad start. You're down 2-0. Well, they got a goal, and then they got a power play goal. We came close to scoring the very first shift. I think it was with Bratt going wide and almost scoring, and so sometimes it can get overplayed a little bit, I believe. We can also talk about how they battled back and made it 2-2, and at the end of the day, it's a 60-minute game, and you're going to have spurts where you're good and you're not good. But definitely, I think if we're a well-conditioned team and play with a lot of pace, and you can get on top of teams early, that's definitely an advantage and a mindset that I think most teams want to have, and one that I definitely want our group to have. But also not giving up goals because we're a little too hungry to score, and forcing plays that we don't need to force because we want to have a fast start. And that a lot of times with young players, that's learning that fine line between trying to do too much and just making sure that you get momentum on your side by playing the right way.
Travis, the latest on Andre Palat, didn't see him out there today.
No, he skated on his own today. He'll skate in the morning tomorrow, and we'll see if he's a player for us tomorrow or not.
How did the conversation with Nemec go this morning? Any talks with him and what he learned?
I haven't talked to him today yet, but I had a great talk with him yesterday. And, really our conversation was honest, open, back and forth. I believe that's the way it should be. But I started it off by telling him that how good a player I think he is and is going to be. And that I was very surprised at the beginning of the year when he got called up how well he played and how excited I was to watch him and what he could do. And then, I was also on the flip side honest that I thought the last 3 weeks he had dipped a little bit, and we talked about why. And there's a learning curve in the NHL with players to play, for 82 games is, there's a learning part to that too. And getting reset and getting refocused is not a bad thing. And so that's just what we're working with him right now. I told him he's going to get back in. I didn't say when, but it could be tomorrow. Might be, might not be. I haven't made any decisions on the lineup yet tomorrow.
Trev, what are you asking for from a player in that position to watch for when they're watching a game? Because it's not just about rest, I'm sure.
No, it's not just about rest, but it's, every young player needs to learn different things, why their game's dipped, being mentally prepared to play every game. It's a grind. The NHL is a grind. And, we've been playing him. It's not like we're playing him only 10 to 12 minutes a night. He's playing against the best players in the world right now. He's done a fairly good job, and I want to make sure that he keeps trending in the right direction. And in the last 3 weeks, I felt like he was just trending in the wrong direction. And I don't want him to become a player by the end of the year that isn't the player that we saw at the beginning of the year or when he first came up. And it's up to us to kind of manage that part of his progression, and part of it is just getting his legs back under him. I think when he's skating, it allows him, and when he plays a little quicker, it allows him to be better with the puck. And if he's a half a step behind, well, now he's going to be in trouble, and he's going to get pucks in spots where he's getting pressured and maybe turning them over or not defending quick enough, and then you worry about confidence as well. Like, I think when he first came up, he was feeling great about his game. And the one thing players know, they always know how they're playing deep down. They know when they're good and they know when they're bad and are not as good. And that was the great thing about our conversation. I think we both agreed on a lot of the same things.
Travis, is there a difference in practice between intensity and working hard? And is that sort of like a fine line kind of thing?
It is, but we've talked about what it takes just in the short amount of time. Like, there's work, and there's first effort, second effort, third effort, and at this time of year, marginal, first efforts aren't usually going to cut it, and you got to have second and third effort, and that's part of today's practice. It was just a regular practice, but we just wanted to make sure that we concentrated on making sure we skate fast and pass on the tape, and that would be like any practice, to be honest. This was just a regular practice.
I know you said, Travis, that maybe the talk about the starts is a little bit overblown, but to start practice with a full 5-on-5, full intensity drill, did that have the starts of games in mind at all?
To be honest, no. That drill, believe it or not, when I brought them in, I told them, you're not going to hear me say this very often, but you guys skated too hard in that drill. It was supposed to be a warm-up drill, and just to feel the puck, and I told them that before, but they're, whenever there's a new voice, but I did tell them that we're going to get into it later, and unfortunately they got into it a little early, and I said, now we're going to get into it. So, but that drill was not meant to be a 5-on-5. Like, it was just meant to be a warm-up drill and get them feeling the puck a little for the rest of practice.
One other noticeable thing yesterday was whenever he had the opportunity to play a matchup, especially offensive zone draws, he tried to get Nico, Jack, and Jesper together. Obviously, those are three super skilled players, but what did you see with the potential there of trying to get them together as much as you?
I liked it. I thought, whenever you can get an advantage on home ice, that's just part of coaching at any level, is trying to get some matchup advantages if you think you can. And we tried to do that last night.
You spoke a little bit about Al Arbor yesterday as a mentor to you as a player. Is it easier or harder, do you think, to be a young player in the league today?
Good question. I don't know if it is easier or harder. I remember when I was a young player, it was hard looking back. You know, you're on edge. You want to stay in the league. We didn't have the social media stuff that we do now, so things weren't always magnified every day if you hadn't scored for a while, or you know, maybe you didn't play a game or you didn't play as well as you wanted to. Where today it gets magnified a lot more. The league was different. Coaching was probably a little different back then. But I do remember that, you know, I learned a valuable lesson about empathy with Al, and about, you know, caring for your players. And even though he was a presence and a loud voice, he also, his players always knew that he cared. And if you're going through a stretch where it was obvious you weren't playing well, he wasn't there to beat you down. But there's also times where he'd make sure you knew that he knew you weren't playing well, and that's also coaching as well. And you know, for me, if you're putting in effort and you're trying, that's a big, you know, that's what you want to see. And you might not play well, and it's up to our job to figure out why. And
how much do you put, a percentage do you put into analytics?
a little bit. I watch it. I mean, it's I shouldn't say a little bit. I'm always looking at it. I don't totally coach off of it, though.